Welcome back to the UK Paramotor Podcast. I'm here again with Joe. We've got a bit of news to talk about with what's been going on in the UK paramotor scene. So we're going to start talking about competition season. I wasn't competing in the British Open this year, but Joe was. So do you want us to run us through the competition?
Yeah, so the weather wasn't looking the best to start with. But fortunately, we had some challenging conditions, but we managed to get a valid task in, a valid comp in. We got quite a bit of nav, some eco triangles, and quite a bit of precision in, which was kind of surprising. We had to jump at the weather windows when we could, but it was a great way for us to really sort of test those skills. And
it was a valid comp though?
Valid comp,
yeah. So basically with a competition, for it to be valid, there's set sort of criteria. So for the Endurance Championship, there needs to be so many hours worth of navigation to meet the criteria of it being a valid comp. So basically you couldn't just have one spot landing task that'd be blown out and still be able to name a champion from that. So there've got to be so much flying for that to actually name a British champion. So who is now the British champion?
The British champion is our boy Bruce Daniels.
Awesome, congratulations Bruce, well done mate.
Really good competing from him, he was really pushing it. And
super focused.
He's
like a young Jedi, isn't he?
He's great, and just seeing the progression from his comp work to his sort of acro in the paraglide, and it's really great to see young British talent really pushing through.
Yeah, he was part of the acro display back at Butterbeer.
Yeah.
And absolutely smashed it out of the park on quite an old wing. It was quite impressive. So it's some wicked talent coming through.
Well done, Bruce.
Who have we got second?
Second, we had Jonathan Hobbs. Which was great to see. He's another relatively new face for competition season.
That's amazing progression from starting a couple of years ago to being second. That's amazing.
But yeah, it was great to see him. His navigation was spot on, and his equipment is just set up perfectly for those long ecos as well. So
awesome.
In the Worlds, hope we'll have a few more ecos so he can really score up himself and possibly pushing for those top spots.
Nice. Congratulations, John.
Well done. And then finally, we have Dan Jones.
Doesn't need much introduction. We all know Dan. He's been smashing it for a while now.
He has, yeah.
Awesome. Well done, Dan. Well done, Dan. We've also had a valid trike class this year.
We have indeed.
So British trike champion. Have we got one of them?
It is. We have got Dan Bryce, which is great to see. You know, if you're in the comp scene, you know Dan Bryce in the British comp scene. Fantastic guy, and it's great to see him at that top spot.
Yeah, congratulations, Dan. So that's the national scores. There is also some open scores. It's an open competition, which means that we invite pilots from across the world to come and join us. Who is the British Open winner this year?
The British Open winner is Benny.
Good old Benny. Well done,
Fantastic.
Benny. Awesome.
And it's great to see. And he's really he really pushed those numbers, and it's great when you see Benny running out to the deck. It really inspires you to go, right, come on, let's do this. Let's really get on with it.
He loves competing. Yeah. He absolutely just eats, loves, breathes, lives competition.
Yeah.
So no, that's awesome stuff.
Good. Really good to see.
Awesome. And then there was obviously a trike class. So do we have an open trike winner?
We do, and it is Frederick
Malliard. Yes. I didn't recognise him this year. I've known him for many years, but hiding behind that beard, I did not recognise him. So congratulations, Frederick, if you happen to be listening in English, which you're probably not.
Turned out to be a fantastic comp in the end. Like I said, challenging conditions, but everyone was working together. You know, I had a little bit of a land out, and straight away people was coming, supporting me with an extra throttle and things like that to really get me back in the sky. And I think that's great about comps, is the fact in the sky you're fighting for those positions, but as soon as you're back on the ground in the deck, everyone's helping each other out to really get you up and ready and keep you flying.
You just can't beat that, can you?
No.
You can't beat
that.
that.
So thank you everyone who helped me out there as well.
Awesome. So then just before the comp, we obviously had Parafest, which we paid a visit to Parafest. It was great to catch up with faces that we've not seen for ages. They were played with the same weather forecast, whereabouts it was looking absolutely terrible. But there was flying. There's still quite a bit of flying. There's people up there throughout the weekend. And even though we had some pretty horrendous weather, hailstones that I've never seen the size of the hailstones in the UK in my life, but yeah, we got a bit of everything: ice, sun, rain, wind.
It really was. One minute I've got my t-shirt off, next minute I've got a full jacket on.
It was,
Not
yeah,
face on, ready to go.
it was more of a weather fest than a
Yes,
para fest. But no, it
definitely.
was good to see the flying. It was great to see, a load of the paramotor businesses that keep the UK so vibrant. It was great to catch up with schools, with equipment suppliers, and yeah, just see faces that you don't often get to see. So no, that was a really good event. Awesome,
really
Mark.
good.
Well done, Mark. Nice. So I think that's more or less the news. We've not really seen. There's been much more new kit to the scene that we've not spoke about, but we do want to have a look at maybe some of the kit that we might be seeing over the next couple of weeks. We've got the World Paramotor Championships in Manston in a couple of weeks' time, starting right at the beginning of August. Whereabouts we're going to have touching about 100. I think there's nearly 90 of the top pilots from around the world coming together to compete in Kent. So what do you reckon we're going to see then? If it's the top pilots, we're probably going to see a lot more higher end kit than what you see in the Open, whereabouts there's a lot of intermediate equipment. What do we reckon we're going to be seeing?
I reckon sort of straight off a line we're going to have the Viper 6. We've seen how well it performed in the British Championships this year with, the British champion and the Open champion both flying the Viper 6, and with their reactions that, they've worked really well, they've scored well in every task, and it's great to see sort of the progress we're keeping pushing forward. So the Viper 6 is the first one I reckon we're going to see quite a lot of.
Cool. And I reckon we're probably going to see a few BGDs. We're going to see the Luna 3.
I reckon we're going to see the Luna 3.
Not as much of a high-end wing as the Viper 6, but it's looking like it's pretty quick.
It's quick,
it's quite a fast wing. So
it was great to sort of see Blaze flying one as well there, and I managed to have a little bit of a demo on, and it's nice to see those speeds really pushing through. So I reckon there'll be a few pilots who'll be flying the Luna 3 as well. And then you've got your Warp 2 as well.
So that's probably sort of going to be a lot of pilots on the Warp 2. A lot of the European pilots are going to be flying the Dudek. It's a rock solid, super quick wing. So
motor-wise, I'm thinking the EFI, now it is, it's that commercially available, and we're really going to see some big numbers, and I'm excited to see how many people are going to use it. Are people going to swap onto other things? But I think it's going to be a top piece of kit to use.
I mean, I think obviously with the EFI, you've got the numbers, the fact that you've got really good eco for a Monster, but on top of that, in the competition, you've got your EFI flight computer unit thing right there, giving you information that we as carb pilots could only dream of. You've got your exact fuel burn, you've got your duration left in your tank. So one of the competition's tasks is the eco triangle. So we get given so much fuel, who can fly the biggest triangle? And having that information of how long you've got left in your tank is going to be super beneficial to anybody that's flying the EFI.
Yeah, definitely. Because I mean, it's instead of flying by that trusty mirror that you've got to look, or noticing you're halfway around and you see your comp bottle and you're using that last litre of fuel, you're thinking, oh gosh, isn't it? If you can do those in-flight adjustments if you need to as well, if you realise you're burning a bit too much. So, the luxury of the EFI, and it's the future, I think. I think
it's really exciting to see what's it's finally happening. Some, different manufacturers have tried it at different times. I know Miniplane was doing a really good job with it, but they just couldn't get it right. But to actually see, we've now got a commercial one, it'd be really interesting to see how many of the top pilots are using the EFI. Any other engines we might see quite a lot of?
I think we may see the long-range Miniplane. Quite a few of them, especially for the sort of lighter pilots as well. Having that 140 prop, the reliability of a Miniplane, of that top 80, being around for a while, it works, and that's why it's still here.
I think that'd be a great option for the lighter pilots. Having they've got a different gearbox, haven't they? So it's a different gear ratio, longer prop, getting really good eco. So that's awesome.
Yeah, and I think realistically, you're going to see your Pellinis, your 250s and your 202s there as well.
Maybe some 303s in the track.
303s, very true. Yeah, I'm excited to see that sort of see what we're going to get trike-wise as well.
It's going to be interesting to see the spread of the frames as well.
Yeah, that is
you know, I'm
interesting.
looking forward to seeing. Obviously, Liberty have really taken over the slalom scene. We don't know how many of the classic comp guys are going to be using Liberty frames. Yeah, it's quite exciting. What's nice about World Championships is it's completely international, so you'll find a lot of the pilots from countries will be using the kit that's manufactured in their country. So that's quite interesting to see.
A lot of progression comes from these comps as well. You know, you see what works, what doesn't work. So then top guys might move to different sort of kits, or the manufacturers might go, oh, we really like that, and put that into their own machines as well and kit like that.
Yeah.
So
if you want to find out some more information about the World Endurance Paramotor Championships, I'll stick a link in the podcast or the YouTube video. Hopefully you can pay that a visit, and then if you're free one of the days, it looks like a nice weather day, come and visit and come and see some of the top guys in action.
Yeah, definitely.
It'll be great to see you there. So some news to do with that is we may as well announce the British team.
Yes, okay,
If I can remember. So we have got, obviously, the British team is selected from the top 3 pilots of the British Championships, and then another 3 pilots who has felt that they're going to bring to the team to be able to score the points and hopefully get a medal. So the top 3, obviously we spoke about them already. We've got Bruce, we've got John, and we've got Dan Jones. We've also got Adrian Southgate joining the team, who's another newish pilot to the paramotor competition scene, but he's been doing really well with the navigation side of stuff. So we're hoping that Adrian's going to come on board and he's going to score some points in the navigation tasks.
Yes, most definitely.
We've got Russ Heath Roberts, who I've known for a long time, used to work with Russ over in Fly Spain. I think I actually taught him to paramotor. And obviously he's Mr. Miniplane now, so you guys that have got mini planes probably already know Russ quite well. And yeah, we're hoping that Russ is going to come along scoring some points for the eco side of things.
He's an absolute eco god on that.
Yeah, he's on a Viper XC, he's got the mini plane, long range, really, really talented paraglider pilot. So yeah, fingers crossed Russ is going to bring home the eco points. Then we've got myself, who's just going to try and hoover up any points I can. I suppose I'm normally pretty good at the precision side, so hopefully I'll be there to get them precision points and then whatever else I can at the same time. So that's the foot launch team. We've also got a trike team this year, which is really exciting. So I don't think we've ever had a full trike team in the history of British Paramotor, the International Paramotor Competition. So, yeah, I don't think we have. I'm sure I'll get corrected if I'm wrong, but as far as I can remember, I can't remember us having a full trike team. So on the trike team, we have got Dan Bryce, obviously, who won the British Nationals. We've then got Alex Anderson, who's CFI of Foot Flight Paramotors. He's been in the scene for ages as Alex. You know, he's a really cool guy. He's been flying trikes in the paramotor competition for a little while now. He's been flying foot launch in the paramotor competitions for decades.
Yeah, I remember him when I was sort of 12 years old at the comps as well. So.
Yeah, so some serious experience there. We've also got Tyrone, who's a newish comer again to the competition scene. He does a lot of the accuracy stuff as well.
Paragliding.
So we're hoping that can sort of transpose down to his the precision side of the trike flying, and then he's been doing, he's been trying hard. He's been doing really well with the navigation and stuff.
Yeah.
And then finally on the trike, we have got
me. Yeah, I'm going to be flying trike in the world. I'm excited. Done a bit of trike flying, little bits of trike flying, but the navigation side of things, I'm confident with the foot launch side of things. The precision, I'm excited because it's going to be a different way of doing things. So
let's get some practice in.
Yeah,
What trike are you going to be flying?
I'm going to be flying the retractor trike with a Parajet Maverick, and then I'll be held aloft by my trusty Hadron 322 metre. I know that wing inside out, so it's something I'm going to be very comfortable on.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Awesome. Wicked. So we'll stop boring people about competitions now. I know for the guys that aren't massively interested in competitions, hopefully it's still a bit of interest to you, but we understand that not everybody is that bothered about competition. So we wanted to have a little chat about pilot development and upgrading your equipment.
Yeah, definitely.
We're starting to see a bit of a trend, or what I feel I'm seeing is a bit of a trend of people upgrading their kit, especially the wings, really quickly and going sort of higher and higher and smaller wings, which has obviously got potential risks to it. About sort of 7-8 years ago, we went through this same trend of going for the smallest wing possible. And then it sort of slowed down and sort of people went to bigger wings. It seems to be happening again where that's going for these smaller, higher end wings. And obviously great, there's pilots out there that are definitely up to that standard. It's great to see people pushing forwards with the kit and the flying. But sometimes I feel as though people sort of rush into it a bit. So we thought we'd have a bit of a chat about making that decision to upgrade your kit and where to go with it. So I think first of all, you've got to think about why. Why do you need to upgrade your wing? Is it because your mate's just got a new wing and you don't want to be the guy on the field with an old wing that might be doing you really well? Or are you at that stage whereabouts you already feel like you're using the whole performance of your wing? You feel like it's holding your flying back a little bit.
I think when you want to be pushing those XCs, checking your speeds, there's a lot of people who are like, right, I want a faster wing, and they'll go out and buy a faster wing and they've not even touched the speed bar and things like that. And
I mean, a lot of wings have 50% of the speed in the speed bar, and you'll see people going up going up the wing range before they've even attached the speed bar, which is a shame. Speed bar, if it's set up properly, can be a really useful thing to have that's not as scary as some people think.
I think also it's just enjoy it, challenge yourself, do some slightly longer XCs than you're normally used to. You want to be sort of knowing your numbers as well, and really sort of spend a year or two really getting to know your wing instead of seeing something advertised and go, that's fantastic, I'm going to jump straight on that. You see these new wings come out and then they're for sale again straight away after, because people get slightly scared of it and they haven't developed those skills to really push it. So I think sort of develop your skills on the wing you've got at the minute, really explore it, enjoy it, use your speed bar and sort of push.
I think we're in a really lucky place at the moment with the kit that maybe sort of 10 years ago there was a beginner wing and then sort of an advanced wing. There was sort of like, you started in an advanced wing. Now there's loads of different models out there. So what I think we're seeing is people going from sort of first wings and then skipping a few potential stages and going to higher end wings. And I think by all means, upgrade. We sell a lot of kit. More people upgrade, happier I am. But we don't need to be upgrading all the way to these advanced wings. There's some really good options out there now, especially if you think about the other manufacturers. You don't need to stick to the same manufacturer. You might find that one manufacturer's got a wing that's a smaller step than the manufacturer you're currently flying, and it's probably worth looking into that. And the other thing is test fly them as well. You see so much whereabouts people will go on Facebook, they'll say, what's the best next wing for me? Every person will say the wing that they fly, and then they'll probably just choose whatever they can get a good deal on. Whereabouts, go and test fly it. I'm a real big believer that, everybody wants a slightly different thing from their wings. Take Ozone and Dudek, for instance. They're two great manufacturers. The wings that they make are fantastic, but they suit different pilots just because of the feel. You're a Dudek guy, you love that Dudek feel. I'm an Ozone guy. I probably prefer the feel that comes from an Ozone wing. The performance of the wings are very similar. They've just got a different feel. And
I think also that sort of when you are ready to step up, don't automatically think, I'm going to step up and then downsize. Have a look at your wing loading and just sort of move up, progress on your wing. You don't have to go, okay, I'm flying a 22. Right, I'm feeling like I'm ready to step down, so I'm going to upgrade my wing to something faster and then drop my size as well.
That's a big step.
So
if you downsize your wing, obviously there's some really important factors to consider on how that's going to affect how the wing flies. It's going to become a lot more dynamic, which could be something that you're looking for. Great. But what you will find, what might catch you out, is the smaller the wing is, especially with reflex wings, the more altitude it loses in turns. They can really dive into the turn. So that's something you've got to be really careful with. The issue with small wings is when it starts to go wrong. Yeah. The small wing is going to go wrong a lot quicker and a lot more aggressive than a more lightly loaded or a less loaded wing.
Yeah.
So that is definitely something to consider. I think that's a really good point, that by all means upgrade, but if you're going to downsize, maybe try not to upgrade too high up and downsize at the same time.
Yes, you know, it's not a race, you know. That development stage is something I'm going through as well, is I want to do it, but I want to do it safely and enjoy my progress. I don't want to scare myself by going, right, I'm going to jump on a super tiny wing because I feel like I'm ready for it. And then, because I've spent all this money on the wing, I'm never going to fly it because I'm sort of scared unless it says perfect conditions. So I'm just taking it steady. And I think that's a real good thing to do, is choose, you want to advance your wing, but really focus on that wing loading and things like that.
Yeah.
If it's sort of similar, you can have a different wing, it's going to be faster as well.
And chances are, if it's cross-country flying that you want to do, you're probably better with a larger wing anyway. Larger wings, you're going to be the efficiency that you're going to gain from a larger wing is going to allow you to do much longer cross countries with your fuel tank. There's also something called the Reynolds number, which means that a bigger wing, if it's loaded the same, a larger wing is going to fly a bit faster than a smaller wing, even if they've got exactly the same wing loading.
Yeah.
So just dropping down a size isn't necessarily always the best option. So hopefully that's a bit of food for thought. I think we've covered everything we wanted to chat about today. We'll see you guys again soon. Hopefully you'll come and say hello at the World Championships.
Yeah, and hopefully you'll be seeing the trike champion. Or maybe footlord.
Who knows?
Right, see you later, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.